Lovelies, how you all doing? It's been a while since I've made one of these videos. I know, I'm sorry. If you've been here before, then obviously you know about my mad rantings and ravings, and welcome back. How are you all doing? If you're new here and you've happened upon this video because of the title that I'm going to give it, then hi, welcome, how are you doing? I'm Tanya, and I like to talk a lot. Ages ago, those of you that do watch may have remembered I was getting a hair analysis and checking out everything about my hair, especially on its journey to health and enhanced waves. I know it's looking a bit of a fright at the minute. I think it was my fault. I wanted to dry my hair quicker and I rushed it, and I also scrunched it out and it was still wet, and it's gone a little bit I mean, it's got moments, some of it's alright, but that's my fault. I like air drying really, and I just anyway, so hair analysis. There are, I think, a few people that do it. I think I've seen it, but there's one that stands out. This something that I read about a lot when I was looking into it, and that's where I went to get mine done. Now, I had the results a while back, but I've had heats put in and I'm a bit slack, and this is the first time I'm getting around to letting anyone who's interested know about it. I got mine done by my main bio. Now, this is really good because mainly it's going to be women that do hair analysis. I mean, there might be some guys, but what I like is that this is a small independent business and it's run, owned, done by 3 hardworking, kick-ass female scientists who have their own houses, lives, families, and they still do their business and analyze all their hair samples, answer emails. So I was happy to support them and, you know, buy the packages and then the upgrade package. They've got 2 packages. One's the foundation one, so if you want to research products that are good for what they tell you and stuff, then that's what I did the first time round. And then they have the total analysis, which is, it tells you the products that you should use, styling tips, what your dew points and stuff is for if you should use glycerin and stuff. They give you follow-up emails as well for that. You get 3 follow-up emails. And what is good about that as well is because you think, 3 emails. That is tricky as well because they say to space them out over your hair journey, and you're like, what do I ask? What do I do? I did have to ask them something the other day. But it's not just like one question. You get to ask 3 questions in each of your 3 follow-up emails, which is quite good. Now, I will add some pictures in for you to see. You get a PDF report come through. If you're in America when you do it, you get sent a quiz to fill in and plastic bag collectors to pick up your hair samples. In the UK, obviously they can't send them out to everyone. They just tell you how to send it and who to send it to and how to wrap it and everything. And you do the quiz online. So it's easy and it doesn't cost much. I think it's £1.70 for the sort of international mail at the minute. And then when you get your report back, you get it through on your email, obviously, and they tell you things like your hair porosity. So I've been wondering about this because there was mixed, that some people get it totally the wrong way around when you're researching it. They say that some people getting the high porosity mixed up with the characteristics of low porosity, and I was like, and I read some other bits, and it was like, no, my hair does take a while to get wet sometimes. It takes forever to dry, forever. I was drying it with my diffuser and it would have been, it was going on for longer than an hour, and I got bored. I think that's why I tried to rush it. I took my diffuser off, which is a no-no, and scrunched down. It was still wet because I prefer air drying, unless I can afford a Dyson one day and then it'll be quick and fast and light. Or if I had the time, because I wanted to make my videos for you because they're good for me, and it's sort of my therapy as well. Get around out, get it talking. It's good for you. And everything, and obviously it's a school day, so I've got bits to do in between, and I was rushing with that. Otherwise, I suppose you can go a bit slower, and I just didn't have time. But hey, that's my bad. But I was like, yeah. So they tell you hair porosity. Mine is naturally low porosity, and at the minute it's naturally low porosity at my roots, and because of sort of thermal and mechanical and external different damages and factors, I've balayaged my hair, and I have dried it before dryers and things. I was surprised it wasn't worse. I thought with some of the things I have done, I mean, I used to dry brush and yank knots out of my hair but my mid shafts are borderline normal to normal porosity with high porosity at the ends, and then they tell you how much of a trim you should have to help get that off and make it healthy. Now, I'm hoping that I did that because I trimmed my hair while I was waiting for my report, but that's good to know that I probably did trim off enough, so that's good. So they tell you that, and they tell you your hair's texture and the width of your strands. So yeah, so you know what each strand is and the thickness of what your hair is, and that's your texture. My texture is 60% medium, which I am actually surprised about because every hairdresser I've ever been to has always been like, your hair's so thick, your hair's so thick. But then, no surprise really, I've got 30% coarse and 10% very coarse. So there we go. I tell you like the hair width, if it's, I don't know why they tell you that bit because it's not the density. I mean, the density of my hair I think is medium, but it tells you like the hair width. Mine's thicker here and then gets a bit thinner on the ends. They talk about your build up. I'm in a hard water area where I am, so my build up was pretty bad. I didn't really start clarifying until recently. I started using apple cider vinegar rinses every so often when my hair feels crap, and then I do a good exfoliating scalp wash once a month. So hopefully my build up's better, but the hard water here is really bad. It was really building up and coating my hair. So they tell you about all that, your water, how it treats your hair, build up, what to do about it. What else? Oh, they show you some of the pictures that they've done from under the microscope, so you can see how your cuticles lie, your porosity, if it's high, low, medium. They show you if you've got any split ends. I had some doozies. I really did have some doozies in my split ends. One of them was so bad, the picture they showed me, which I will show you so you can see in horror, that it didn't have any cuticle at all. It was just the fibrous insides of my hair. So all that, even though I am obsessed about trimming out my split ends and trying to look after my hair, which is partly why I went on this journey anyway, it was pretty bad. So anyway, sorry. Some more things for the wedding came. I'll tell you where I was. What was he saying? Oh yes, they show you photos of like your cuticles, the build up. They actually show you the build up of your hair. They can see obviously under the microscope. Just knocked over my cup of coffee all over my floor. Brilliant. Good times. Coffee all over my floor. But anywho, they tell you how your hair elasticity is, so like the health of your hair. My wet stretch test was normal, but my dry stretch test was low. So they said that my hair can't retain the moisture when it's dry, and to lay off the proteins. Just lay off protein because that could be affecting it, which I did for a while. I did do most of my washes have been really moisturising, and my hair was starting to look really shiny and soft, and then I think it went into moisture overload because of doing that. I only had a few times where I used some proteins. And so I did a protein wash the other day. Well, a protein treatment, and then the waves sprung back up again. And yeah, the shine was there. It doesn't look it now, but like I said, I fried it, I think, with the hairdryer a bit too much. And then They tell you where you can read further things if you've only done the foundation one. Things like that. And because I did that, it was handy. It teaches you a bit, sort of what to lay off of, what slightly to do with your hair. And it's good if you like researching products to use and things like that. So that's why I did it. But when you've done a foundation one, they give you quite a lot of a discount to go and upgrade to the total analysis. And then they look at 5 products that you use and tell them if they're right for your hair, like at that point in time. Like I said, how to style your dew points, because dew points matter more than actually the humidity, because it's the dew points that affect if you're going to get all the frizz in the high humidity or whatever. Different ways to style it, different products that might be better for you to help you style it. And then, of course, you get your follow-up emails. Now, if I was going to give them a review, I'd probably say maybe 4 out of 5, which is pretty good. I would have given them 5 because they're really good. They answer emails, or they're really good at answering the emails, even though, they're busy girls and they have got families, a lot of them. They're friendly. The upgrade was a brilliant idea. You even get, I think you even get 5 off if you want to do it, say 6 months or a year down the line, to see if your hair's improved and how well you're doing and what you can still work on, which is really good and really nice. But when you ask, like, I don't know how it is further on down the line, but when I asked some of my questions for my first follow-up, they still use like your report, and it could change. Like, obviously I've been moisturizing it mostly because they said ease of proteins, and then that does lead to moisture overload. And if I carried on doing that without doing something to it, I could go into high growth fatigue, and I don't want to do that because that's really damaging. But they still look at that, and they go on that when they tell you some of the questions that you've asked. I also asked because my hair was getting really wet frizz, and I know there are other things that cause it. Sometimes it's just natural for people, it's build up, but I've been clarifying. Using like a Denman brush or something when you're brushing the stylus helps. I do that anyway. And I'm on a really, really good curly girl hints and tips group on Facebook, and wavies and that are allowed in there. They're not, because some people say you've got wavy hair, it's not curly, but that is part of it. It's even in the curly girl handbook. But a lot of them, and I talked to a lot of them, and a lot of them had the same problem sometimes with wet frizz, and they said that is because your hair is needing protein, among other things. Like I said, I use the Denman brush. I know that it's not build up because I know what build up feels like on my hair. It goes horrible. I know when I've used too much product because it makes my hands a bit sticky, and I think I might have used a little bit too much this time, but I don't know. So I knew it wasn't that. And when I did the protein treatment and I rinsed that out, my hair felt like silk. Putting on the conditioner, because you're supposed to deep condition again, or moisturising conditioner after a protein one, made my hair feel a bit dry again. So I think maybe my hair was just like, you just need the protein. You just need it. The stretch test gets me. I've always known, I did read a really old book when I was like growing up. I think it was the 60s or 70s one, and they said you count how many times it takes, and then obviously the more it takes to break, the healthier it is. I know times have come on from that, but it's like if it snaps instantly or snaps almost right away, then obviously you've got too much protein and you need moisture. I get that. If it stretches and you get like a good resistance, like a sort of rubber band, and it's just like, if you keep doing that, it's going to stretch because it's going to break because you're putting pressure on it. But if it does it for a few times, and you're good to go. And if it goes, then that is a sign that you've got moisture overload. Also, and what is confusing as well is that protein. Maybe I'll do a video for people that do want to know. For people in layman's terms, like slightly with it, because some of the videos out there are really like quite intellectual with it, and sometimes we just need a bit more down to earthness. But yes, proteins make your hair brittle and can break, but also moisture overload makes your hair break and snap and causes split ends. And I was getting a few split ends back again. I hadn't for a while actually doing this. So, but because I said they go on your analysis, and then they still say, oh, you need this, and wet frizz could be this. So they show you a video, they give you a link to a video of a person on YouTube who does a really good video on wet frizz. But he was trying to say that, it's still this. But anyway, with the wet strand test, because they do it all by whips, like if it stretches like 20% or whatever, if it stretches this, and I'm like, in layman's terms, I'm not going to get my ruler out. Is it how far from there or what? And they just tell you that again, like, or if you want to refer to like the percentages looking like your report, or they said to like hold it gently from the ends and then pull or something. And if it does, whatever way they said it, I wasn't very impressed with that bit. I think, and I've seen someone else say as well that sometimes it doesn't work for them either, and they just go by feel. If it feels brittle, if it feels hard, rigid, like straw, and it's quite stringy looking, then you know that most likely you've got protein overload. If it's feeling extra soft, but it looks dry and it can be frizzy, because if it's moisturised, you think it'll be all shiny, and no, it can look dry and frizzy, and that's what I was getting. Your waves or curls go limp and don't hold up because you haven't got the building blocks of protein to get them up. You don't have, the building blocks in your hair that you need, and it can snap just like with too much protein and stuff. So you've got to feel, because if it gets really bad, it can feel soft and gummy and candy flossy. And thankfully, I wasn't at that stage because I'd read enough and seen people in the groups to know. I did ask them another question of whether Olaplex could be good, because it's obviously a bond builder, but it isn't protein if you need to lay off some proteins. And they said, yeah, it's good for everyone, and that could be a really good idea. So I might want to got a bit of free cash in between getting wedding stuff and whatever, and I've got to start getting uniform for my eldest who's going up to secondary school. But in between, I might get myself an Olaplex free and try that and see if it does. But it's a really good building block. It's really helpful. I probably will take them up on the offer and see if my hair has improved and see what they say. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I want to get my money's worth with my 2 other follow-up emails. I don't know what I'm going to ask them. But they are very in-depth in what they know. Their product knowledge is amazing. They even look up the area where you are, even if it's a UK like me, and tell you like what you should be using for glycerin and what humectants and stuff you should use. So it's really good. So that's why I would still give them a 4. I just think they need to know that maybe they need to look at other things and other sources, as well as like the analysis they did for you, because it might not always be the same. You might have effed up somewhere and got an overload or something. But other than that, if you're looking at getting your hair analysis and you're thinking about starting a healthy journey, whether it's straight, curly, wavy, whatever, and you want to start looking after it for the health of you, our hair is our crowns. I love my hair. I'm fussy about cutting out split ends. Like I said, this is not my most crowning moment, but just do the foundation one if you don't want to spend out loads and loads. It'll still tell you your hair elasticity, what you need to work on, your porosity. Then you can go from there to find any products. They are really good. They are lovely ladies. I do recommend the main bio. It helped me out a lot with different things. I hope you like this video. I hope if you do want to start like a healthy journey for your hair or something, you'd give them a shot. They are really lovely ladies. I hope you do like this video and enjoyed it, and you can understand it a bit. If there's anything you want to know more or anything, and you want to follow maybe a bit more of me doing this, we can learn together, like, newbies to newbie or whatever. Then thumbs up, subscribe, dingle-ding, so you know. And yeah, it was good talking to you about this. Have a lovely, lovely, super duper day. Bye!